broadcasting live on the UnitedWest.org AM radio network and simulcasting on DirecTV, iHeartRadio, Roku, and the World Wide Web. This is Enemies of the State with Tom Trenko.
Thunder, jets, and all.
I always try to time the jet just as it's coming across your forehead. You know, it's kind of.
It's tricky stuff. It's tricky business. I understand that. On the 17th of March, Tom Trento here on just give it to those guys, on a wonderful, beautiful Florida afternoon, 6 minutes after 4 o'clock. What a show we have for you today. Will Israel do the dopey, hopey change thing and elect Obama light? Or will they re-elect Benjamin Netanyahu, the Likud party, and stay in the fight? Big question. We're going to look at that for the next 2 hours. 1 hour on the radio, WSBR Radio, 740 AM. Also, of our own Imam Abdullah.
Yes, we do.
At Tallahassee, Florida, on Muslim Brotherhood Day, sponsored by CARE and other
Yes,
Muslim
from Ariel today. I have some of my footage from Ariel today.
From earlier today. We'll show that in a little while. And last but not least on our show, we want to announce that while everybody was sleeping in the United States of America and the West, the Israel election. Because as we've been saying, this is day 2 of a 3-part series. It's the 17th. As we've been saying, what takes place on the ground in Israel with this election dramatically and directly impacts every American's life. Whether you're traveling overseas, certainly it affects you that way. But even at home, in that the Islamic State and its affiliates, whether they're in sync on every detail or not, like Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah and Hamas, they live and breathe the strong horse, the Arab strong horse doctrine. And when they look at the new potential prime minister, they see a weak horse, which is why the Palestinians are hoping and praying Netanyahu doesn't get reelected. When those sort of developments occur and a weak horse in a very strong nation is elected like here, that has ramifications in the United States of America. So throughout this show, we're gonna run footage of on-the-ground reports from various news agencies, including some of the more well-known ones, Al Jazeera, CNN, the BBC, the I-24 News, Israeli group, and we have our own people. He's here.
We got him.
Yeah.
I will meander over there. How about that?
You just go
Don't you
meander
just
on over
meander
there.
there?
It's not the media wall.
What is it?
It's the Great Wall of the West.
Great Western Wall? Is that what it
No,
is?
not the Western Wall. The United West, the Great Wall of the West. It's our Great Wall. How about that?
Okay.
And right there we have the essence of our show today, election 2015. And with us are on the ground, there he is, Michael Ganoe, direct live, ladies and gentlemen. From where are you, Michael? Tel Aviv?
With his umbilical cord strapped to his throat right now.
Actually, I am in Tel Aviv.
Let him talk. Go ahead, Michael.
Hold on 1 second. I'm in Tel Aviv,
There, all right.
but I'm in the town of Givaton. Okay, so right now at 4 o'clock, I think it was like 13%. The number of people that voted is 13% less than it was the last election. But they do have the highest numbers of they have a higher number of people voting this election than there has been in years. So that shows you the importance of this election to people on both sides. And so these folks are from Bibi's camp. And tell us your name. You right? And this is, say it again? Liraz. Yeah. And his girlfriend? Dana.
Woo! Welcome to America. Nice to see you. You can tell them what we
behind us, they said, welcome to America. And behind us is V-15 is behind us.
Go talk to them. Let's talk to them.
Go talk to them. Hope and change. Hope he changes.
Okay. Hold on a second.
All right, what we're doing is Michael repositions folks.
Give me 1
Michael
second,
Ganoe
guys.
with Hershey's for Heroes and Insight to
Hold that for
Israel.
me. Hold it.
As he's repositioning live right now, it's, what is it, 15 minutes or so after 4 o'clock on the
13
East Coast, obviously later in Israel. He's repositioning his Skyping from the field, doing a pretty good job with our way of covering the races there. He's going over to V15's camp. V15 Victory 15 2015. And that whole program is overseen by operatives from the Obama administration, and it was interjected into Israeli politics in order to defeat.
Oh, he's got some questions to the guys. Hold on a second.
In order to defeat Bibi. Go ahead, Michael.
They won't talk to me. They have to get a spokesperson.
That is how we do it at Muslim Capital Day.
And they're exploiting, it's child labor, exploiting these children by indoctrinating them with hope and change.
Where are we? Yeah, you got to keep me. I don't have the paper here. You can't get them to say one thing. Tell them I want to just wave hello. Point your camera at them. We want to wave hello to Obama's operatives in Tel Aviv, Israel. If you can point your camera at them, I'll wave to them.
Look, Tom.
He's having a hard time with the Skype.
He's having a hard time.
Not working.
All right, we're gonna get back to
this.
him.
We're gonna come back to this.
The V15 people are jamming the airwaves.
That's right. They
So Obama brought over the NSA or whatever over there 15 minutes after the hour. Michael Ganoe reporting. We'll get him a little later. What do we have on the local news? Do you have I-24's report or anybody's?
We got AGM popping up.
Yeah, let's put those guys on for a second. Tom Trento here, hosting a 2-hour special on the election in Israel. Significant. We may say that Prime Minister Netanyahu is running to be reelected, and Itzhak Herzog from essentially the Labor Party, renamed the Zionist Union. But
That
in
is
fact,
such a
you do
misnomer.
not. In fact, you do not vote for individuals in this particular election. You only vote for a party block, a party that has so many seats, and then the party selects the prime minister. If the Likud party wins, prime minister will be Benjamin Netanyahu. If the Labor Party, or their new name Zionist Union, wins, it'll be Herzog. But there isn't, like we have right now, we go and vote for a person. That's not the case right now in Israel in this election. So now, what are the stakes that we've been talking about for several days? Election a few months back is because the local issues, the economic issues, the healthcare issues, the social issues were exploited in an acorn-ish way. The V15, the folks that Michael Ganoe tried to speak to just now, they are simply a machination of acorn.
Have Obama's 08 deputy field director for his campaign, who became his field director and his man in 2012. When you have him and a small army of his
Jewish
little
guy, no
helpers,
less. Jeremy
self-hating Jew, Jeremy Bird, when you have the people, first of all, the $350,000, yeah, that's bad, but it shows how much Obama hates Netanyahu.
Yeah, he wants to dispose of him politically, that's for sure. And when you have the Arabs cheering the fact that Obama is becoming successful at hurting Netanyahu, what does that mean? Does that mean anything to anybody anywhere? Do we have any news reports that we can put on right now, or what are we doing?
Not right this second. I-24 is not popping.
All right, then let's go to Barry Shaw. He's waiting, standing by. Barry has been giving us tremendous insight into the political complexity, and he follows hour to hour to hour exactly what's going on the ground. He's been doing that all day. We heard from him yesterday. We'll hear from him tomorrow in a wrap-up, but we're going to grab him right now, get a report from Barry Shaw. We have a video that we're going to show you also.
Well, we also have the inside.
Then we're going to show you a video of Herzog himself requesting your vote. Let's take a look at V15 about a week ago.
Michael Ganoe with Insight to Israel and Hershey's for Heroes, and I am in front of the press office here in Tel Aviv. And currently, the Likud party is filing a legal complaint against groups that come from the outside of Israel.
No. Didn't come out of the outside of Israel.
Your funding's coming from outside of Israel.
That's not true either. Let us speak about that.
Okay, I'm here with. Let me say, I'm here with V15 in front of the press office, and these young people are here. I'm going to let them tell you what their purpose for being out here. What's your name?
I'm Liad, and I'm from Victory 15. Our organization started out in the living room, and now 4 weeks after, we're here bringing hope and change to the Israeli government. What we see really change in the government and the change.
This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Trento here, your host. Enemies of the State, name of the show, special report today on Israel. This is one of the V15, Victory 15 people, one of the Obama operatives that has been inserted or utilized in Israel to push this narrative, this story about hope and change. Listen carefully, because in a couple of months, you've seen this footage. He goes on,
with Insight.
he goes on, yeah, forget about it now. He goes on to say, what we want to see in the government is change. He goes, and everybody starts laughing. Mike, all of us started laughing. All he says is hope and change. Now, get this into perspective. Today's the 17th of March, 2015. We have Iran in Tikrit, Iraq, equipping the Iraqis to defeat the Islamic State.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
We're going to get you up there in a second.
Yeah.
We have possibly your new prime minister up there, but there you are. Hi, Barry. Give us a 30-second update. We're going to play a little video for you, get your commentary on the Herzog video, and then have you give us an analysis of where we are right now. Okay? Give us a 30-second update.
What's with the Israeli internet today? Everybody's jammed on it.
They probably are. Barry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you perfectly. Give us a 30-second update, then we're going to show you a video to get your commentary on it.
Okay, I just want to remark on your last person on from V15 talking about hope and change, Tom. The last politician I heard offering hope and change was Obama. How's that working out for you?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Requested to make change in Israel by way of voting for the Zionist Union, which is led by myself. As you know all too well, I come from a family which of course has deep connections to all the English-speaking countries, wherever they be. My late father, Chaim Herzog, was the 6th president of the State of Israel. My late uncle, Abba Iban, was Israel's legendary foreign minister. My late movement and lead to a stronger democracy in our country, which is all the time under danger by extreme right-wing elements, which Netanyahu is looking at as his natural partners. Thank you all very, very much. Please vote Emet, Aleph Mem Taf. This is the ballot for us.
Wow, very convincing.
Very convincing.
So Netanyahu.
Quote from what Mr. Herzog said. I mentioned he said something about how his party would go after the BDS boycott movement. But if you look in Europe and certainly in America on the campuses, the people who are driving the BDS movement and anti-Israel activities are the left wing of the political spectrum.
Can I just comment that actually the One Voice, the group that is partnered up with V,
Connection between the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement to being a function of the left, of the liberal movement in America.
Tom, this is not rocket science. All you could do is look at it.
Yet the left is where Israel's going. Yet they want to fight the BDS movement. So
liars.
This is the incoherence. This is the incoherence that's going on. All right, Barry, we're going to check in a little later with you. It's a two-hour special.
Tom?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you've covered it, but I want to tell you the breaking news last night was that Tzipi Livni, that's Herzog's partner in this Zionist Union camp, waived her right to be a rotational prime minister with Herzog. Did you hear that? Did you cover that?
Then we'll factor in this Livni and we got to get a picture of Livni up too so people can see her. This
Bigger boat, Tom. Bigger boat.
Livni decision. Barry, what's that right there? What are we looking at?
You're looking at cartoons. No.
Well, that's actually true.
No, okay, look, it's difficult to go through the minefield here. You know why Israel produces so many Nobel Prize winning mathematicians?
No, why?
To figure out the voting.
The politics, Israeli politics. You've got to be a Nobel Prize winning mathematician to work out all the variations that you're going to get going on later on today. You know, Tom, I want to tell you, Israelis are not afraid of a nuclear Iran because they're afraid of being bored.
We got
leaving their own supporters and followers because they've been waging a campaign for the last month that they would run a joint list here, and then at the last second, the last hour, Livni had slipped aside. So it looked to me to be a bit deceptive for the Livni Herzog camp to their followers.
Yep, and very interesting political ploy. Simply stated for Americans that are not in the realm of 2-hour show, and we'll get back in about an hour to you to get the latest on-the-ground information. Always great talking to you.
Thank you, Tom.
See you, Barry Shaw, everybody. Let's get back over here. You know what? Is it the 17th of March?
Yes, it is.
It is. Let me go back over here.
Oh, now come on. What are you doing?
we got all kinds of stuff going on in Israel. But this is a special day. You got to admit, this is a special day. This is a special day.
Yeah.
And here's the special day it is. Now, oh, my word. What happened?
Your green hat.
We didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, we didn't expect that to
that
happen.
Oh my God, we could see your brain. Put that back on. I can see your brain.
You can see through my body, ladies and gentlemen. It is St. Patrick's Day to all our Christian brothers and sisters, celebrating a day where you are allowed to drink as much as you possibly can. This is in recognition, a little derby, a little Irish, and I'm Italian, I'm wearing an Irish derby, come on. But this happens to be green, it doesn't quite work. It makes my head disappear. Trento, you're losing your head, oh no. Well, here's the situation. Many people go to St. Patrick's Day parades.
That's really
and
weird how
do
that's
all this stuff, and everybody's Irish on the 17th of March.
I'm Damon McRosen.
Damon McRosen in the green shirt. But very few people truly understand the essence of St. Patrick's Day, what it's all about, what it means. We got for you a little bit of information, a couple of minutes. Bet you didn't know this about St. Patrick's Day. Check this out.
Millions of people around the world don their best green attire every March 17th to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. But there is a lot we bet you didn't know about Ireland's patron saint. To start with, St. Patrick wasn't even Irish. He was born around the 5th century in Britain, then part of the Roman Empire. At 16, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and spent 6 years in captivity. He converted to Christianity and later returned to Ireland to spend the rest of his life working as a Christian missionary. After Patrick died on March 17, 461, he was largely forgotten until mythology and legend grew, and centuries later he was honored as the patron saint of Ireland. According to one famous myth, Patrick drove all the snakes from Ireland. The story symbolized Patrick cleansing the island of paganism. There's just one problem. Ireland never had any snakes to begin with. The Emerald Isle is surrounded by water too frigid for snakes to migrate there, whether from Britain or anywhere else. According to another famous story, Patrick used the 3 leaves of the shamrock to explain the Holy Trinity. As a result, people in 18th century Ireland started wearing shamrocks on March 17th to signify their Irish Christian pride. That tradition later grew into wearing green clothing, a popular St. Patrick's Day custom today. Though shamrocks don't really exist, we know them as any one of several 3-leaf plants, such as wood sorrel or white and yellow clover. As St. Patrick is to Irish history, we bet you didn't know the tradition of celebrating March 17th with parades actually started in America. The parade tradition really took off after the Great Potato Famine hit Ireland in the 1840s. sending hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants pouring into New York, Boston, and other American cities. The first record of a St. Patrick's Day parade in New York dates to 1762, when a group of Irish soldiers serving with the British marched a few blocks to a tavern in Lower Manhattan. Today, it's the largest and longest St. Patrick's Day parade, boasting close to 200,000 participants and nearly 3 million spectators each year. So this March 17th, we hope you'll be wearing green and toasting to some St. Patrick's Day history that we bet you didn't know.
We bet you didn't know. I didn't know all of that stuff. And I lived in Chicago. I've been to other Irish towns like Boston. We're going to go to Boston in a second, in fact. And I didn't know that there were no snakes in Ireland because it was too cold for the snakes to swim there and go there. And I didn't know as a Christian that the three-leaf clover, the shamrock, which I didn't know didn't exist, was used to illustrate the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Yep. The Trinity, three being one. 3 parts, 1 part, 1 plant. Pretty good little...
I actually found a 4-leaf clover on St. Patrick's Day during a St. Patrick's Day parade.
You did?
In the middle of a street. I just walking by. I saw it. Oh, wow. I picked it up off the ground. I ended up on 6 o'clock news that day for like 50. It was like years and years ago.
Oh, you actually? All right.
Well, Tom, you lived in Chicago like I did. St. Patrick's Day in Chicago is like Christmas everywhere else. It is
I played football for a Irish bar in Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. Well, we had the party on St. What do they do to the river in Chicago?
They dye it green. I lived right on the river there.
And also the second largest.
I turned green St. Patrick's Day '93. I was so hungover.
The country gets crazy on St. Patrick's Day. Nobody gets crazier than all those folks up in Boston, Massachusetts. Let's go right now. Right there. Here we are. Rabbi John Hausman, just outside of Boston. Rabbi Hausman, my Jewish brother, are you Irish today?
Oh, Hausman, what can I tell you?
Oh, Hausman, there we go. Good to see you. What's the weather in Boston, man? We you know, when you're in Florida, you don't even worry about all the weather. But I got to tell you, every other week it's 14 feet of snow, Boston, 12 feet of snow.
It's been a challenging winter beginning on January 24th. That's when it all started. Listen, what can I tell you? We had over 107 inches of snow up here. Though today it's nice. It's in the mid-40s and it's raining, so washing something...
Okay.
Mid-40s and raining is nice.
Here's where the lexicon differs in Florida. Mid-40s and rain is not a nice day, but that's okay for Boston. Hey, are you following what's going on?
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. Are you following what's going on in Israel? What are your thoughts about this situation? By the way, Rabbi Hausman is not only a dear friend, he's the warrior rabbi. He was one of the first people first rabbi to bring Geert Wilders from the Netherlands into his synagogue. He hosts a Hausman family series there. We've been there many times. He has outstanding speakers. Got somebody tonight he'll tell you about. And educated, he's an attorney and a rabbi, educated at American University in Cairo, Egypt, speaks Arabic and a little bit of English too. What's going on in Israel today?
Look, according to the latest reports that I've read, over a ton of people have already headed to the polls. Interestingly, if you take a look at the data, normally at this point on Election Day in Israel, only approximately 3 to 4% of Israel's indigenous Arab population has voted. And reports coming out of Israel right now are close to 25% of the Arab population has voted. And, you know, there are charges that have been made, not just by Netanyahu, but by leaders of the other parties whom many in this country, that means the administration would say these are people, the right-wing extremists, as it were, are trying to, well, the reports coming out, they're saying that they have information that people are being bused to the polls. Arabs are being bused to the polls. You know, listen, this is reminiscent of some of the tactics that we've seen out of Chicago over the years. You know?
I wonder why.
So, we just had...
listen, you wonder why? It's very simple. We know that a ton of foreign money has flooded into, the Israel political scene over the past 2.5 months or so. Many reports have come out of Israel regarding V15, Jeremy Bird, and other, Democratic operatives. And I don't want to lump all Democratic operatives into one tent. But we're seeing people who are, very much on the progressive end of the Democratic Party. There's Jeremy Bird right there. Involved in Israel, trying to defeat Likud, and it's not just defeat Likud, but defeat any of the parties that are right of center, to create a left of center coalition. Interestingly, it'll be interesting to see what eventuates, because the Arab parties, who only 3 different parties, they wouldn't have made the threshold to enter into the Knesset had the minimum percentage requirement been in effect during the last election. But now they've all banded together in one party. It's very interesting. You have Islamists, you have secularists, you have all kinds of people under this one joint Arab list tent. It'll be interesting to see.
Hey, Rabbi, what are you talking about? Israel is an apartheid state where Arabs have no rights, nothing. And now you're talking about Arabs.
Jeez. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Where Arabs control, where Arabs are 20% of the population, where you talk about Arabs in the last Knesset holding 11 seats, where you have Supreme Court justices, Arabs, Miss Israel, Christian Arab. Let's just dispense with that nonsense.
He's a hater, Tom.
It is so bizarre. Yesterday I talked about the fact that some of us who've been cursed with a analytical mind, where things actually with the brain actually have to make sense. But we're looking at brilliant people. Usually you think Israelis are very intelligent people, very industrious, very hardworking, built out of the desert, in a sense, a thriving, productive first world country. How in the world?
Hold on, Tom. You might want to reevaluate this. Hold on.
We're Ganoe with Insight to Israel and Hershey's for Heroes. And I am in front of the press office here in Tel Aviv. And currently the Likud party is filing a legal complaint against groups that come from the outside of Israel.
No. They didn't come out of the outside of Israel.
Your funding's coming from outside of Israel.
That's not true either. Let us speak about that.
Okay, I'm here with B15 in front of the press office, and these young people are here. I'm going to let them tell you what their purpose for being out here. What's your name?
I'm Liad, and I'm from Victory 50. Our organization started out in the living room, and now 4 weeks after, we're here bringing hope and change to the Israeli
Okay, that's enough of that.
What we stand for is the hope.
Screen if I have to watch this guy one more
We do
time.
not stand for a specific party,
Now,
but
hey,
all
Rabbi.
the parties want to change how we see Israel.
Mahlifi means
Get the rabbi
simply
back on.
change. Okay, listen.
This guy goes on, Rabbi. This is the V15 people, one of our guys on the ground. Talk to them. He goes on, hope and change, every other word. We just played a short video of Herzog talking about hope and change. Why are brilliant people buying into this nonsense? Help us understand that.
Well, first of all, I just have to say, times change, but idiots don't.
Yeah.
I have to start with that. Times change, but idiots don't. Look, it's clear that Likud and Benjamin Netanyahu and Bibi have been the security people par excellence in Israel, and I don't think anybody understands the existential implications of Israel's security needs better than Netanyahu. But at least speaking to the people whom I know in Israel, friends as well as a lot of family, and you should know that most of my family in Israel tends toward the right at this point in time, though 20 years ago they did tend toward the left, but the Labor Party was a different party 20 years ago. Yitzhak Rabin was a much different leader than the leaders of the Labor Party today. People in Israel take a look at the landscape and they say, look, Netanyahu's been talking and Likud has been talking about Iran and the bomb for 10 years. yet things, actually more than that, about 20 years. And Iran's progress toward the bomb has been inexorable. And Israel's security situation hasn't improved. So let's look at land values now. Let's look at the cost of living. Without really taking a look at investigating the deeper issues involved, Israel's economy is growing at a 7.2% clip, gross GDP. There isn't a country in the Western world that's growing like this. Not even China is growing like this. So an inflation, and Israel has a deflationary economy in many respects with regard to many of the necessities of life that we would take a look at in the United States. Energy prices may be high, but food prices may be much lower than they were last year. So it's very easy for people to say the security situation hasn't changed. Let's take a look at some other issues here, and people are just not looking deeply.
Yep. V15 worked. One voice and V15 worked. Hope and change worked on the Israeli people over the last few months. The hope and change thing seeped into a lot of people's brains over there.
It's mind-boggling.
That is very true, but I do have to say one thing. People are going to the polls. We have my event tonight. Be able to say at this event the polls are closed in Israel. Who will know? It's going to be 24 hours or so before we really get good information about the distribution of seats in the Knesset. That still won't be fully known for about a week. And look, Netanyahu can come up with 21, 22 seats as opposed to the Zionist Union. Boy, you want to talk about an oxymoronic
exactly.
Title for a party. The Zionist Union can have 26, but it still could be that the Zionist Union's natural constituencies can't form a government. So look, we're going to have to see how this all plays out.
All right, well, tell us about your event tonight, then we're going to let you go, and we'll see. We'll be back here tomorrow. Maybe we'll touch base with you then. But what do you got going on tonight up in Stoughton, Mass?
Well, through the Hausman Memorial Speaker Series, we're bringing in Lieutenant Chris Parenteau, Tonto Parenteau, who, as people may know, was the lead private security fellow hired by the CIA to provide security for the mission in Benghazi. He was active in the fight. His 5-man team includes himself. They saved 20 people on that fateful night, September 11th in 2012. We've entitled this the Benghazi Truth Tour, and he's here to talk about his book, what he experienced, and really give the truth. And it's very interesting. I just have to say this. Here Tonto has been out talking about, his book was a New York Times bestseller, and he's been out promoting the book and talking about his experiences. And now we have this information with regard to Hillary Clinton's private server in her house, and there are approximately 55,000 emails dealing with Benghazi.
Nothing to see
Wouldn't
here.
it be very true that what Parenteau and these other people who survived, what they've been going around telling people for the past 2.5 years, maybe they're telling the truth now.
Yeah, and well, stay tuned to check that out. Make sure you videotape it. We will get some of that video out on our show. Rabbi John Hausman up in Boston. Stay warm at 40 degrees and rain, and we'll see you in the near future, okay?
Shalom, Rabbi.
Nice to talk to you guys.
Yep,
Take it easy
Rabbi.
now.
Bye-bye.
All right, Tom Trento here at 55 after. What we're going to do, folks, is at the end of the first hour, we're going to leave the radio listening audience. And our radio listening audience is WSBR. We know that, 740 AM at Boca Raton. But we're also on WHFS, 1010, Tampa Bay area. You can hear us over there. We're going to leave you guys at the top of the hour in about 5 minutes. We're going to continue with the second special hour of our 2-hour show on the elections in Israel. We're going to take a look at some news feeds, go back to some of our experts, go find Ganoe somewhere. He gets his nose into the middle of the fray all the time. And, It's a nail biter, that's for sure. Also, let's see. Today's Florida Capital Day. We gotta throw the website up, and we gotta show.
Oh, here's the book.
We got show. We got time. Let's
do that. We got show.
put the website up first.
Okay.
Here's the website for Florida Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day, put on by CARE and some other organizations. And you can see their website there. It's a big day for them. We got special footage of our Imam Abdullah. Take a look at Imam Abdullah up in Tallahassee. Can't believe what he did. Take a look at this.
We are here today in Tallahassee, Florida at the Capitol building for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day, organized by Mr. Ahmed Bedir, the cultural jihadist, and Mr. Hassan Shibli, the civilizational jihadist.
Graphics of Beware of CARE and all the other associations that.
We are here to pass out the book, Agent of Influence, Grover Norquist, Assault on the Right, and also to pass out some flyers. It is a book of the Grover Norquist and for a Muslim
Brotherhood Capital Day. This is Imam Abdullah passing out the Grover Norquist book at the Muslim Capital.
House representatives of the great state of Florida. Good morning, Senator Richter.
No, sir, I'm a staff.
Okay. Yes, may I leave a pamphlet, book about the Grover Norquist, and also for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today here.
Sure.
Very good. And business card, please.
Yeah, here.
And they're just like Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Very important reading. Literature for Senator Ganoe.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, it is a book about the Grover Norquist and Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Muslim Brotherhood.
For Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Okay.
I'd like to give a book for Senator Cummings. It's a book of the Grover Norquist, and it is for the Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
The Muslim Brotherhood
Okay,
Capital Day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. For Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Thank you.
This is the office of Senator Diaz de la Portilla, one of the senators that prevent the elect from passing last year. Good morning. I'd like to leave you some literature. About the Grover Norquist and for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. You have a good day.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. No, this Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day.
Everyone was very welcoming. Garcia. Okay, it is a book about the Grover Norquist and also for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today here at the Capitol. So I'd like to leave pamphlet for Senator Simmons, please.
Okay, thank you. I'll drop it off to him.
Very good. Book of the Grover Norquist and for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Okay, great.
For Senator Lavala, it's a book of the Grover Norquist and also for Muslim Brotherhood Day here at the Capitol.
Okay.
Also for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today here. And can I take a piece of candy? Is it halal?
Is it halal?
I'd like to leave for Senator Legg. Yes, literature, book about the Grover Norquist, and also for Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day today.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Assalamu alaikum.
No, keep it going.
It's too funny. Too funny. Contact Imam Abdullah. Imam Abdullah, what's going on? Well, I mean,
a very big morning.
It sounds
Very
like
big
fun.
morning.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, it sounds like a great morning.
I love the Capitol building.
Unbelievable. I never.
So you went in there and you said Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day, and nobody batted an eye about that.
They love me.
They
didn't even question you.
The staff is designed and trained to be very deferential, very nice to you can probably go in there in a gorilla outfit and say it's Gorilla Day, and they'll go, thank you, very, very nice. But when you go in and say it's Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day, and you said it very, very clearly, Imam Abdullah. I mean, you weren't,
Yes, I was being perfectly
there was a camera following you, no less.
Yes. I like to document in case there are instances of Islamophobia.
All right, well, we're going to have to sign off the radio now. So all the radio folks, Tom Trento signing off, WSBR Radio, WHFS 1010 in Tampa Bay. We'll see you tomorrow for the third part of our Israel election special. Right now, special treat for you guys staying on the UnitedWest.org.
So we are signing off now, correct?
We're signing off. Goodbye, radio people.
Okay, now we're signing back on.
Now we're back on the internet. Let's do that again. Now we're back on. Okay. Now we're back on the internet. We never left the internet. But we raise money, as you know, through donations. We appreciate everything that's given. We have to buy the radio time because of the nature of our work. We're very direct and not too politically correct, and we use a little bit of sarcasm and parody. We have to buy our own time to teach this material every day, so we can only afford an hour a day right now. But through the graciousness of some of you out there, and you want to increase your donations, we can even have more time on the radio side. But go to the UnitedWest.org, theunitedwest.org. Top right-hand side, donate securely. You can donate there. And Imam Abdullah, we were talking about Abdullah going to Muslim capital day.
Yes, Tom.
Let's take a couple of minutes.
I am talking to you from Tallahassee, right?
Oh, you're from Tallahassee. Yeah,
I'm beaming in from Tallahassee.
Today is Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day. I don't think they put the Brotherhood in it, though. The CARE people.
No,
I think they downplay the.
They don't want to advertise the Brotherhood thing, you know.
But what we have done, folks.
But they're total Brotherhood.
We have the United West has magnificently navigated Muslim Capital Day.
Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day.
Yeah, Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day in Tallahassee, Florida, for 7 years now. The initial day was 2009. It was in April, I believe, of 2009. And what we did, in fact, that's where you and I think, initially met. Yes. We got together a coalition of about 20 heads of organizations from around the state. We went up there and we had a whole day. Very interesting stuff happened on that day. This is April 2009. We went up there, Frank Gaffney, myself, Act for America, a whole bunch of different people. Had a press conference and simply said, look, it's America. Anybody can go petition and lobby the Florida legislature. It's a free country. Well, let us tell you who's going in there. This is a front group for the Muslim Brotherhood led by people who are Muslim Brotherhood card-carrying members, or if they don't want to carry the card, Muslim Brotherhood advocates like Ahmed Badir, who ran CARE, the communications division of CARE in the state of Florida, who has a revolving door to go in and see President Obama, who was part of the movement to overthrow Hosni Mubarak and to install Mohammed Morsi, who is Muslim brother, and others. So every year we go up there to expose who these folks are.
And here's one of the things we exposed one year in 2012 with Ahmed Badir and his hate speech rant. You remember that one, Tom?
You know what? I remember it, but if I could see it on the screen, it may help folks understand.
I'll just play the video for you.
Yeah, let's take a look at this 2000. Now, let me set this up. We tried to get in 2012. This is a public building, the state capitol, about as public as you can get. Public event. And we paid for tickets, myself and several others. When we got there with a ticket in our hand, the folks at CARE and United Voices and all this refused to let us in. And we went to the police, and the police stood with them and said, you can't go in. How can we not go in a public event? Well, you can't participate in their event, but you can go in their place. So we argued with them a bit, saying they took our money and they refunded the money on the spot, which was interesting. But what we did was we weren't allowed to participate in their events through the day, but we went in and sat with them, and Mark went in and set up his camera.
Right in front of him.
And he got this devastating footage of Ahmed Badir.
It's not like we're hiding from him. We're standing right in front of him. This is really
These
funny.
guys are so easy to beat sometimes.
February 28th, 2012, Muslim Brotherhood leader Ahmed Badir unleashed a hate speech attack against all Florida legislators and public employees at the state capitol in Tallahassee, Florida. Badir, a former CARE official, displayed his true anti-woman, anti-white beliefs while speaking on the 22nd floor of the state capitol during Muslim Capital Day.
Muslim Brotherhood Capital.
The United West investigative team captured this shocking video and now releases it to the general public.
Ahmed Badir, Muslim Capital
At the end of
Day.
the day, we won. And those senators, those representatives learned a lesson.
Oh,
If you're going to go after the Muslim community is going to go after you. And we're not going to stay quiet. We're not going to sit back. When you punch, we're going to punch you twice as hard. When you fight us, we're going to fight you twice, 3 times as hard, and we're not going to stop fighting politically until you're out of office, because we deserve better. And you saw all the people that are walking the hallways. Most of them are white, blonde, pretty, and with no substance.
Whoa.
I'm telling you. So we don't want just pretty people walking around here. One thing that's missing in Tallahassee are minorities, not just Muslims. You hardly saw any black people in the hallways. You hardly saw any black people in office. You hardly saw any black people on staff. Most of the black people in this building are working in housekeeping in the cafeteria and maybe security. What does it say about what happens in Tallahassee?
Hell, the Constitution was written by racist slave owners, so who cares? The Constitution was written by slave holders, and some of our I said racist slave holders. If you own a person,
that's not distracting.
If you own a person, I believe that is racist.
Also, the Act for America hate group.
The hate group.
So the Southern Poverty Law Center has said.
Ooh, the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Is that right? Are they? What's a hate group?
Somebody who hates on others.
Oh my goodness.
Ahmed Badir, with his hate-filled agenda, has disqualified himself from having any influence with the Florida legislators that he so intensely repudiates. If Ahmed Badir has no interest in using Sharia law in Florida, then why is he against a law he believes prohibits Sharia law?
I'm amazed at that narration.
I know, it's such a wonderful radio voice that guy
touched
had.
my whole spirit. I forgot we even did that thing. I remember the video for sure.
RM?
Was that?
Was that RM doing that?
What?
Narration.
No, that's Tom.
That was Tom
Trento.
That was you?
Speaking in my...
What, was that your sissy voice?
My narrating voice.
Was that the Tom Trento sissy voice?
Yes. You have to have the feminine touch to it to...
well, you did that.
Touch all the people. All right, Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day in Tallahassee. And the reason why it's so important, folks, Florida was a launching pad for terrorism in 9/11. A significant amount of the 15 Saudis, 19 terrorists, based or trained or operated in Florida. It is a targeted state for jihadis, we know that. The number one chapter for CARE, which is a terrorist organization, number one chapter in the country is
Florida
in Tampa Bay.
Right there.
We have 13 universities, and all of them have international programs, many Muslims in many of them. University of South Florida had significant jihadis there, and we've been to these schools many, many times. We've tracked this stuff. We've mapped it. There's 22 military bases or installations in Florida. We have the second largest area of coastal area in the country. First one is where? Anybody know?
Alaska, come on.
Alaska has more coastline, 5,000 miles, linear miles, than Florida. Florida has, I think it's 1,300 miles. Is it 1,300? Yeah, and California has 800 miles of coastline. Why coastline? Well, you could intrude on the coastline.
Because we're a peninsula.
So we have nuke plants, and so Florida is a big jihadi state, and it's always a swing state in elections. It's going to be significant in 2016. So the Muslim Brotherhood has chosen Florida as a petri dish for political action. They launched Muslim Brotherhood Capital Day in 2009. From there, they spun it off into 3 or 4 other states, and it culminates, and we'll be there, culminates on April 13th 2015. Guess where?
At Hillary's new house?
Hillary's new house. It's there's going to be a National Muslim Brotherhood Day at the United States Congress, April 13th of this year. We will be there greeting these folks in our inimitable way.
Oh, may I come with you too?
Yes, you may, Abdullah.
Can I bring my Grover Norquist books? I am so proud of him.
The other component of this whole operation is that Grover Norquist is a Muslim Brotherhood operative.
Yes, most definitely.
And Imam Abdullah was handing out a book exposing Grover as a bad guy.
Not exposing, I was bragging about
Bragging
it.
about
bragging
him as a
about
bad
to have the most powerful unelected man in Washington as an operative for us in the Brotherhood is quite an honor, and very, very, it works very well.
And recently, Frank Gaffney was on Glenn Beck's radio show, and talking to Glenn Beck, this was last week, talking to Glenn Beck, you may want to, let's find that piece, because this is very important.
What's this now?
And it's gotten a lot of hits.
What, Gaffney talking
Yeah,
to Glenn Beck?
Gaffney's a 1-minute piece.
Oh, that 1 minute
Frank
piece?
Gaffney was on Glenn Beck's show, and they're talking about Grover Norquist, and Glenn Beck makes a comment, if that guy gets reelected to the board of the NRA, National Rifle Association, I may pull my membership.
No, not may. He said he would.
Yeah, he said he was a little, he clarified it later on and went into it in great detail, but the piece that we have, Mark put a little 1-minute video together, and we put it out, and WorldNet Daily picked up our video. Did you see all the hits on this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15,000 hits.
And it just took off. It's significant because for many years, all of us have been working to expose Grover Norquist, who is the darling of the Republican Party and who has co-opted about 10 of the Republican candidates right now who are running. He's doing fundraisers for them. He's doing luncheons for them. He's getting into their pockets, into their head. Scott Walker, one of them.
I know, very disappointing.
And unless somebody stops this guy ideologically and says, this guy is a Muslim Brotherhood operative who is not a true Republican, then this Republican Party is doomed. Take a look at this 1-minute piece that now has caused the NRA to say, hey, we're going to do an investigation into who Grover Norquist really is.
I believe, and what's so worrying to me about the possibility that he might be reelected to the board, it's bad enough that he was on it in the first place, but reelected to the board of the National Rifle Association, is that I think these influence operations on behalf of enemies of this country are continuing. We've done a dossier on this, which people can check out at securefreedom.org. It's called Agent of Influence, Grover Norquist and the Assault on the Right.
Wow. Tell us how he is an agent of influence and what you're concerned about with the NRA. I will tell you that I am so concerned about this, Frank, and I am not an expert on Grover Norquist by any stretch of the imagination. But I've heard enough that makes me concerned enough that, and I hope the leadership of the NRA hears this, and every member of the NRA hears this, that if this man is elected or reelected and confirmed on the board of the NRA, I may drop my membership in the NRA.
Oh,
I mean, I am that concerned that he is a very bad influence and a very bad man, that if this is who the NRA decides to put on their board of directors, I don't think I can be associated with them.
Yeah, understand, folks, the big idea right now as we go to the coverage of the Israeli elections is that the battle, the ideological battle taking place over two parties there, same exact battle that's taking place here. We have an ideological split, whereas the Democrats, for the most part, are enabling an Islamic ideology, Islamic integration into the public square and into national security issues. So we're fighting that here. Whereas in Israel, the same thing is happening. The conservative movement is saying we've got to maintain the Judeo-Christian worldview. We can't integrate this leftist view, this red-green alliance. They're having a battle in an election today. Complicating our situation here, that clear division between the Republican Party and the Democrat Party has been blurred by Grover Norquist, who is a preeminent conservative Republican, but who is a Muslim brother and married to a Muslim woman, adopting Muslim kids. When you ask him if he's a Muslim, he won't tell you that if he's converted, and who has brought into the Bush administration, when George Bush was the president, Muslim brothers who are now in jail for terrorism. So this isn't a question. We're showing you on this election day in Israel the battles that conservatives are fighting across the pond in the Middle East and here. Critically important. We want to go to Ganoe if we can on the ground. Let's go over to the Wall of the West.
The Wall of the West. Oh, is that what we're calling it?
I don't know. Wall.
West. The Wall
of the West. The Wall of the West. Michael Ganoe, how are you?
Funded mostly.
Got done. Two young ladies.
You get your other. I can't. Hold on a second, Michael. Damon's trying to stream 3 things at one time, so we got to put you on hold. Yeah. So okay. All right. Go ahead.
I just got done interviewing 2 young ladies who, one of them just got back from Poland, and she was shocked to hear that Americans stand with Israel. It's amazing what the media tells these young people and how they're so intimidated by the rest of the world. It's unacceptable, guys. It's heartbreaking when I hear young people say we didn't know Americans love us and support us.
Yeah. Where are you right now? What part of Israel, and who are you talking to?
Area, and I'm here at the booth of Mr. Neftali Bennett, who is a great guy. He's on CNN and Al Jazeera, and he's like, we're not going anywhere. This 2,000-year-old coin proves that we have always been here.
Are there any representatives from Bennett's party that you can interview?
We're not in the main headquarters, but we're going to actually go. My executive administrator, Iris, and I are going to go here after she votes and head in that direction.
Is Iris there?
Iris is actually holding the camera.
Oh, hello. We're going to meet her in a week. She's been very helpful to us as we prepare for our trip to get out there.
So you guys are talking about Suhail Khan?
Michael does not. Suhail's not his most famous person.
Oh,
we're talking about Suhail's blood brother, Grover Norquist.
And my nemesis, we were born on the same date.
Oh! Sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild. Any updated information about the election, what's taking place, the numbers, all of this?
Actually, I apologize. I've just been interviewing people on the street and talking to them about the election, but we're going to get those numbers for you. And so whenever you guys are ready next time, Iris, come in here, Iris.
Hey. Hi, Iris. How are you? There she is. Thank you for all your help. We need those hot spots, by the way. But thank you for all your help. Iris is one of the ones getting it. You guys are doing a great job. We'll get back to you in about 20 minutes, okay?
Okay,
right,
great.
See you later. Michael Ganoe and Iris, who works together. Ganoe has a radio show, Insight to Israel, where he interviews and puts everything up on the internet. And he's got a phenomenal program. Go to his Facebook page, Hershey's for Heroes. People buy Hershey bars, write little messages for the IDF soldiers. We love you, we pray for you, whatever you want to write. And then send them to him. And then he runs around the country, sees a soldier or 2 of them or 3 of them sitting down, runs up to them, thanks them for his work, hands them these chocolate bars from people worldwide. And it does. I've been with him when he does this. It does wonders to these folks. So, all right, it's the 17th of March. We can get, there's a lot going on. We're running a live show right now, and typically there are about 25 people in the studio that produce a show like this. We only have 24 people today.
24.
Oh, wait. We only have
And
2
we're
people.
doing our typical 15 pounds of camel poop in a 5-pound bag.
We only have 2 people running the show, but and we do have a script here that is working quite well.
Okay.
Do you have a news feed that we?
I got Egozi on.
Oh, you got Egozi already. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So get back to your wall.
Oh, go back to the
Get back to your wall.
The Great Wall of the West. The Great Wall of the West. Egozi. He got a new.
Yeah, I got him. Go ahead. There he is.
Egozi.
Yes. Hi,
What's
how are
going
you?
on? How are you? You're on the wall of the West here.
The wall of the West.
Yes.
I like it.
All right. Here's what we've done so far. We're doing a 2-hour special today, and we've laid out some of the general issues. We've heard from some of our folks on the ground, but right now we need an up-to-the-minute report. What's going on, what the feel is in Israel, and how much time.
And who did you vote for? Yeah, who did you vote for?
I'll finish this program and then I'll go to vote. There was a big queue when I went there. People are really standing in line to vote this time. It's amazing that I saw many young people after the army, 21, 22, with small kids. I was staying in line. It shows how important is these elections this time for many people in Israel. So after I finish this interview, I'll go, it's nearby in a school nearby, 5 minutes, and I'll vote, and then I'll tell you who I voted for.
Is there any way that Tom can influence your vote?
Yes, right now.
Right now, in this interview, is there any way Tom can influence your vote?
Obama. Hope and change. Hope and change.
Yeah, no, I know who am I going to vote for, but I'll tell you later. It's interesting day today in Israel, and as I said, we from the reports we hear, many people will participate this time. There's a big participation in the Arab sector because of the unified party, and that calls for the Israelis to come and vote, not to let the Arabs alone on the ground. And at 10 o'clock we will have the statistics, and I think that there'll be some surprises.
Hey, Arie, help us understand. We've heard quite a bit about the disunified Arab bloc, and now it's unified. For Israelis to understand that. We here in America, what do you mean there was an ununified Arab bloc, different parties? How's that work?
Until these elections, there were 5 Israeli Arab parties. Our foreign minister tried to make it harder for them to get a seat in the Knesset, and he passed a law that raised the number of votes that you need for a seat in the Knesset. As a result, they said we have to unite, and instead of 5 parties, they formed one unified party, and they, instead of getting 3, 4, 3, 2, they will get something between 13 and 15 votes, 15 seats in the Knesset. That makes them the 3rd largest or the 4th largest party in the Knesset. Of course, they will not be a part of any coalition, but that will affect any coalition because they may support some coalition from the outside. That happened before in the history of Israel, that in spite of the fact that a party is not part of a coalition, they support in critical votes. So this is one surprise that I think will happen tonight, or between 10 and midnight. We'll know the exact numbers. That was a stupidity to raise the number of votes you need for a mandate, because they made the most sensible thing. They, instead of running in 5 different parties, they formed a one unified party, and this is the result. Unfortunate result for us Israelis.
Now, this is a fascinating point, because people, if they have 13 seats, people have to understand that several Arab legislators call for the destruction of Israel. They're using their position to call for things that'll destroy Israel, and it is a very complex situation, and it's mind-boggling that 4 or 5 previously different parties to see Arabs unify over anything like that. So I don't hold a whole lot of hope in that. but they do kind of skew this voting situation now. All right, well, we'll get back to you a little later. Any other points you need to make, as our folks here are very interested in what's going on the ground in Israel?
No, I said we all wait for 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. to see, normally the three TV channels, if they say numbers and they will match, this will be the number. Of course, the exact numbers will be known tomorrow morning, but at 10 o'clock we will know the numbers and the possibilities to form a strong coalition in Israel for the next government, because, as I said, the country is facing very, very big and critical problems.
Now, is it possible that it'll be days or weeks before they'll know the numbers of the voting, but before there's any sense of the possibility of a government being formed?
Yes, I think it will take something like 10 days, 2 weeks at least to form some stable coalition. And then the Turkish market will begin, of course. Give and take, give and take. I want this ministry. I'll give you this thing. Of course, it's like in every elections. Of course, if one party will get more votes, it will have more power to eliminate those give and takes. But it will not take less than two weeks to form the coalition and to come to the president and say, this is the government, and this is the new government of Israel. Not less than 10 days, 2 weeks.
I have a quick question.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Who do you think would win a fist fight between Herzog and Netanyahu?
Who won a will?
A fist fight. If they had to fight. Literally, a fist fight. Herzog and Netanyahu.
A knockdown, drag out, in the ring boxing match. Who would win a boxing match?
Cage fight, American cage fight, the way it's done here.
It's a very close match this time. Very close match this time, especially after Tzipi Livni said yesterday
Arie, no. We're talking about
a fight.
A fight, boxing ring,
a boxing match.
Boxing ring. Okay, Netanyahu is stronger than Bougie Herzog.
We vote for him.
Netanyahu is a warrior, and Herzog is a sissy. That's the answer. That's the simple answer. Netanyahu is a man.
And I don't think that we have to vote for politicians according to their low voice and muscles. If that's the system, we can take Bruce Willis to be the prime minister.
All right, I like that, Bruce Willis.
You like that? I know that you like that.
We voted for a guy.
If that is the criteria, I can propose some Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, that's Sly.
I know. But I think the Israeli prime minister needs more than muscles and a very low voice.
We voted for this guy.
I see that. Your best friend.
No muscles, no low voice.
Yeah, no low voice. And where's mom jeans? Yeah, come on.
All right, Arie, we're going to let you go. We will. We'll touch base with you tomorrow because we're winding down on our 2-hour special today.
Okay, I'll be in touch tomorrow, and I'll update you tonight by phone if I know something very solid about the results.
And if BB loses by one vote, we're coming and hunting you down.
We're coming after you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Next week.
We'll see you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Yeah, I think we lost him.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, we lost him to labor. I think.
Yeah, we lost him to the.
I hope he had a good time his last time on the show.
He was explaining to us that the social issues are so dramatic now. They've pushed national security aside, and when you bring in Obama's hopey-feely, changey thing,
it worked.
Into that, it worked. It's a perfect storm for the bad guys. And all you got to do is say, who does Hamas want to win? That's all you got to do. And Hamas wants Herzog to win. So, and the answer to that, Herzog and others say, oh, there's no space between us and Netanyahu on national security, except the fact that we can negotiate with them and we can figure out a way how to live in peace with people that want to kill us. We can figure that out, which isn't going to happen. All right, Tom Trento here at 5:30 in the afternoon, if everybody's keeping track. We don't have to because we're not on the radio right now. I'd like to see a news report of something going on our fancy new studio here. Do we have anything like that?
We have coming up in the news. I can't help it that they're going to a commercial, Tom.
Well, here, I have something here playing. So.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right, well, cam 2. We'll bring up our camera 2, and we'll play this. And here we go.
Oh, interesting report, yes.
I guess volume would help, would it not?
Well, throughout the whole election campaign, the odds have really been on Benjamin Netanyahu's side. Even though he at the moment is slightly leading in the polls, it still seems that he has the slight edge in forming a coalition because Isaac Herzog's party, the Zionist Union, would find it harder to form a coalition because there are various other parties that have said they would not sit together. Netanyahu has a stronger bloc on the right, but if he does fall back even further in the polls, 3, 4, even 5 seats, then it will be much harder for him to claim legitimacy to be able to form the coalition. So we'll have to see. At the moment, it does seem like he could still have more support, but we'll have to wait till the results because anything could happen.
And on that point, I just wanted to go back to Netanyahu and how his performance has been in the last little while. Has the relationship, or the difficult relationship with the United States, affected his standing with the voters, and which way does that play for him?
Well, traditionally, when Israelis have seen an Israeli prime minister standing up to what they perceive rightly or wrongly as an American leader hostile towards Israel, that's boosted the perception of the Israeli leader. And that has certainly helped Netanyahu for many years. In the last 6 years, the ongoing relationship with Obama has at times boosted his perception within Israeli society. However, with this last spat regarding Netanyahu's speech to Congress, it did give him a slight boost in the polls at the time, but after that we saw him fall back down in the polls.
Now this is Al Jazeera
so it's unclear whether
this
this really has boosted him. On the left side,
I have Israeli news over here.
And if we
this is very interesting on Al Jazeera. It's a good analysis.
About the purpose of his trip and whether it was necessary for him to...
you got what, I-24?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to show you an Israeli news coverage, TV coverage. Al Jazeera coming out of Tel Aviv. Here's I-24.
And this is live right now. Bibi Netanyahu speaking.
This was earlier. He voted earlier.
He voted earlier?
Yeah.
Do you have the volume on there, David?
Yes, I do.
I don't have any volume here, but that's okay. Anyway, coming back to our side of the pond is, you were talking earlier about Muslim Capital Day in D.C. We actually had we actually saw some footage back there too. What, did you figure it out, the volume button, Damon? Okay.
Well, hi, Meredith. You said it right. Just a moment ago, this campaign being a referendum on Prime Minister Netanyahu. So here we are today at the Likud field headquarters today for Election Day on the north side of Tel Aviv, where certainly an atmosphere of great anticipation here. No one really sure what the results will dictate by the end of the day. I'm joined by our diplomatic correspondent, Tal Shalev here, who has the latest about what the Prime Minister has been up to today. Tal, what do you have for us?
Well, King Bibi's reign is hanging in the balance, so it's been a very dramatic and intensive day for the Prime Minister. He opened up the morning casting his ballot in Jerusalem, calling on the public to vote for the Likud and reassuring them that the first phone he will be making after he is reelected is to leader of the Jewish home, Naftali Bennett. But then he continues with a series of media blitz, media interviews, as we have seen in recent days. By the way, Netanyahu has given more interviews in recent days than in the past 3 years altogether. But at the same time, he also has a controversial statement. He is very concerned about the Arab turnout, and he warns from the high Arab turnout and calls on Likud voters to go and balance that turnout. And a very controversial statement, one that has been denounced by the Joint Arab List. And just a short while ago, he calls the media for improvised press conference, but that was canceled and prohibited after the Central Election Committee said it banned it from being broadcasted because it says it's election propaganda.
Well, thank you very much, Tal Shalev, our diplomatic correspondent here in the field with me here at the Likud headquarters here in the north side of Tel Aviv.
Yeah, that's about as diplomatic
as operative. Our diplomatic operative here in the field. But that's good. Those are the reports on the ground.
Right.
We want to show you right now the couple of minutes of footage where Benjamin Netanyahu went. It looks like, he got his cousin to hold a video camera and put a little video together. It's not polished. It's not very fancy. It's not highly produced. But he's speaking directly to people, as you saw Herzog a bit earlier. Tell me when we have that one racked up, ready to go. And take a look at take a look at Benjamin Netanyahu just unplugged. Let's call this unplugged. It's an appeal, and this is the new way that elections are held worldwide. You get a little YouTube video on your phone, whatever, and send it out, and people start showing it like we are right now.
Start again.
Willing to give up.
You got to turn the other thing off, Damon. Damon's welcome to my world, Damon.
We are really doing the work of about 10 people in here, right. And even that young lady in Israel has about 10 guys in the truck working everything. But we can handle it, and we just need a little more time to make it happen.
In Israel, I don't think I have to persuade you that the land of Israel is in danger, that the state of Israel is in danger, because there's an enormous effort of the left in Israel with its media choir and by a lot of foreign money that is streaming into Israel to bring down the Likud-led government and replace it with a leftist government led by Herzog and Livni. The reason they're making this effort is that they know that the only force that stands in the way of the diktats to get Israel back to the 67 lines, divide Jerusalem, and accept the unacceptable Iran deal is the Likud led by me. And therefore what they're trying to do is bring down the votes for Likud, create a gap between Likud and Labor. They know that it's not enough that there'll be parties who recommend me, because the decision on whom to entrust the formation of the government depends also on the relative size of the Likud. There's no such thing as a technical bloc in Israel. The president looks not only at the number of Knesset members who recommend somebody to form the government. The decision by the president of Israel on whom to assign the formation of the government does not depend only on the number of people who recommend that particular candidate. It depends also on the size of that candidate's party. Therefore, it doesn't matter if a Jewish home goes up or down by 2 or 3 seats. They'll be part of my government anyway. But it makes a world of difference if the Likud goes down by 2 or 3 seats, because that could clinch things for Labor. That could give the left victory. The only way that we can ensure that Labor doesn't form the next government is to give the maximum amount of votes for the Likud. And therefore, there's little time left. Vote Likud, vote Machal.
Simple little YouTube video speaking very directly.
Well, I'm understanding.
Here's the big idea, and then we'll open it up a bit. We have 601 days. 601 days from today. Man, time is flying. 601 days from today, the 17th of March, St. Patrick's Day, Muslim Brotherhood Day in Tallahassee, Florida, and Day in Israel. 601 days till November 8th, second Tuesday in November 8th, 2016. And here's why politics in a democracy are so critically important. A lot of people go, oh, I can't understand all this, and in Israel it's so complex, why am I going to vote? It doesn't matter anyway. Let's play out one scenario. Let's say you go, security is security, we're always going to fight the bad guys. Let's get the other guys in, see if they can redistribute money and help things out. Well, if you get the weak horse now in Israel, it's going to lead to a war, a significant war, and a worse war, more bloodshed, than if you stay with the strong horse. Eventually, Israel, for their own self-preservation, will have to say, hey, they're shooting too many rockets and this negotiation stuff ain't working. And then they'll make a decision that Netanyahu would have made 6 months earlier, and then all that wasted blood and treasure in trying to do something we know has failed time after time after time. And simply because people don't want to get out and vote today. An admonition and a big idea for every person in America, particularly evangelical Christians, because 3 million of you did not vote in 2012 here in Florida.
Dummies.
And President Obama won by 73,000 votes over the new prize fighter, Mitt Romney. I don't know if you heard, Mitt Romney is going to be boxing Evander Holyfield.
Yes, for charity.
In an upcoming fight.
Are you serious?
I met both of those guys, shook hands with both of them. Evander's hand is a little bit bigger than Mitt Romney's.
Is he just going to lay down? I mean, I would just like...
Mitt was on one of our flights a few months ago, remember?
Yes. I met him at the 2012 in Minneapolis, talked to him for a while, but he was on one of our flights. I shook Evander's hand at a fight, and it was like, you know, like a hand this big.
It's like a steak with 5 sausages
my
sticking
money
out.
is on Evander to defeat Mitt Romney.
I'll take Romney. He's got him paid off.
But if the Christians in Florida would have voted, and there's 3 million that did not vote, and we know that's a real number. If only 30 or 40,000 of you would have voted, President Obama would not have won the state of Florida. And there's about 5 or 6 million Christians around the United States in key swing states that need to go vote, and the world will be a different place. We're in a very dangerous world now. We need people who understand the threat of the Islamic jihadis. So 601 days, let this lesson
Speaking of the
today.
threat of Islamic jihadis, you did bring up the Muslim capital day here in Tallahassee. And what day is the Muslim national capital day?
April 13th, Washington, D.C.
Well, we were at an April 13th. A very similar one back in 2009, and you think this is just like some peaceful, like lovey-dovey rally, you know, No, back in 2009, it was radical as it was today, and we actually had some footage from back then, which is that I shot with actually Act for America, which really took off and was a very good piece.
Let's see it. This is the battles we're in.
This is Muslim Capital Day, West Lawn.
I'm a Muslim. My father is a Muslim. My grandfather is a Muslim. All my family is Muslims.
Sharia law, I've heard that mentioned.
Sharia.
Washington,
Explain
D.C.,
that to what Sharia is, and so that
Sharia,
what is Sharia law? Yes.
Muslims live by Sharia. Sharia is like the law, the Muslims' law.
Yes, sir.
It's the Muslims' law. Yes. See, everything that will, like a constitution, like everything, anything you do in life, you have to go by Sharia. Sharia is the law, the constitution of the Muslims. Okay. That's what it is.
In your opinion, do you think the Muslim community would like to see Sharia law in America?
Of course.
Can I ask you another question? Earlier, and the reason is, so apostasy from Islam is not a capital, you don't believe it should be a capital or a punishment, or to be gay or to be homosexual in Islam? Or
it's against our religion. It's not acceptable at all to be a homosexual. That's our religion.
What do you believe
Let me finish. Let me finish.
You catch that? It is not acceptable by any law to be homosexual in Islam, and that's true. You cannot be homosexual in Islam. So this guy is just amazing, but it actually gets worse here.
Homosexual. That's our religion.
What do you believe
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Yes, sir.
See, you're pointing everything about Islam. Not only Islam, neither Christianity allow this, and I think the punishment is the same. Neither Judaism. We always point about what Islam says.
Well, no, Christianity doesn't. They accept homosexuality. They don't agree with it, the religion itself, but they don't have capital punishment for homosexuality.
Well, we have capital punishment.
You do have capital punishment.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
But if Sharia law was accepted in America and and being homosexual is a capital offense, do you believe that we should kill?
I mean, we kill for everything. Well, I mean, we kill for a pair of Nike shoes. We kill for everything. I mean,
I understand. In jurisprudence in a court of law and under Sharia law, that's acceptable. And if the Sharia law were implemented in America, do you believe that we should follow?
If Sharia law was implemented in this, then you're going to be killed. Yes.
And there's no doubt about it that the Sharia law does kill homosexuals. You look at just the speeches over there. It said, other than life imprisonment, the death sentence, what can be done? And they talked about according to Islam, from a tall building. You know, this is their sick, twisted ideology, Tom, and this is what happens. Just on,
and that's just one little piece of of Islamic doctrine. One little piece. The Israelis are fighting now today in the election to let this mindset in, and they don't think so. but we know so. We know so.
And so
We're
anybody
gonna try
who's
to,
a leftist out there trying to vote for whoever out in Israel, it's ridiculous.
Concerns are
it's
Jack
ridiculous.
Smith,
What are you playing, Damon?
we're going to try to pick up. We had a couple of people that we wanted to.
I have Lucy.
All right, great. She's on right now.
Yes, I'm on.
Hi, Lucy. How are you? You're talking to Tom Trento. How you doing?
I'm good. How's the election going?
It's wild in Israel, and we're getting ground reports. A nail biter could go either way. My feeling, my sense of it is that the left is going to win simply because the social issues are more real to a lot of people than Iran firing a nuclear weapon. But you are one of the folks that watches the show, helps support us, and has been involved in quite a bit. You're active up where you are. And we wanted to just get your thoughts on what's going on in Israel and in the world.
Well, I am praying diligently today that God will show himself mighty, that he will show the people of Israel and the people all across the world that he is the one and only true God. He's the Lord God, and that Allah is not. Allah is a false God. He's not to be worshipped. And I am totally disgusted with this Obama regime sending in all their little people to Israel to try to mess up this election. Benjamin Netanyahu is such a man of dignity and honor. And my heart is grieved, but I know, Tom, as you do, that God reigns. And he rules in the affairs of men, and we've just got to trust him. But I'm holding on. I'm holding on to the Lord. I'm trusting him to win this battle some way, somehow.
Amen, Lucy. We appreciate that, and glad that you were able to participate with those very, very important words. And hopefully, they're going out over the air. People will listen. We'll stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to wrap everything up and find out what's going on. And we'll be there doing our show all next week, actually, for about 2 weeks.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Got to let you go right now. We're coming down to the end. But thanks for checking in with us, okay, Lucy?
God bless y'all.
You take it easy. Lucy's up in the Tennessee area, involved as an activist, dear Christian woman, and always writing, and I said, why don't you call in and we'll put you on. We don't normally do that. We don't have a call-in show per se, but we want to try to get to Alex if we can reach him. Can't find him. Again, live organic show, just a few minutes left in the hour. Oh, man, we've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it helps to turn our mics on. Hit the big story real quick before we go.
Which story is that? Hezbollah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a big story. The fact that we've taken the #1 terrorist country in the world and said they're not terrorists anymore. It's not that big of a story. Actually, this story needs complete exposition and elucidation. It was slipped into the American psyche, American consciousness through Clapper, I believe it was, presenting a couple of months back the intelligence report, and missing, ironically, from the intelligence report were two entities, Iran, designated terrorist organization, and Hezbollah, Army,
Party of God.
Yeah, the Army of God, the terrorist organization. I mean, Iran and Hezbollah have killed probably more Americans than any other Islamic terrorism group around. All of a sudden, they're not placed on the designated terrorist list for the intelligence community. Seems to be a conflict with whether or not the State Department still has them listed. But the way these things work, if they are removed in one area of the intelligence apparatus, then de facto they will be removed in the other. You can't have these contradictions. Now, the question is, Why in the world would the United States remove Iran and Hezbollah from a terrorist listing? What is all of that about?
It's very clear what it is. It's in order to make the nuclear agreements go a little more smoothly. I'm sure it was part of Iran's demands for the nuclear talks was to say, hey, we don't really like being called the terrorists. Can you take us off of that list? Oh, and our proxy out of Lebanon, Hezbollah, take them off the list too. I know that we have thousands of U.S. and other Western passport-holding citizens' blood on our hands, but we want to come off that list. Okay, Obama administration, okay. Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
This is absurd negotiating, folks. This is like, this is a poker table here, and you give $1 million to President Obama, and to gamble for you, and he goes in there and he just says, "Here's $500,000. Just take that, and try to be fair and be nice to us.
Be nice."
It's
right.
the paradigm of negotiating has been.
He is the world's worst
completely
negotiator.
Reversed, and the Persians. You heard Arie Egozi earlier talk about the Turkish market trading will come into play. The Arab and Persian mind has been trading in the bazaars and the markets for thousands of years. President Obama is a community organizer. He and John Kerry, who's just an elitist guy who rides on his boat.
Israel hating for decades and decades.
They got so played by the Iranians. I would think if I were negotiating, you want to come off the list, then I'm going to go to your 12 plants and I want to walk through them. And when I'm convinced there's no bombs in there, then we take you off the list. That's how it works, not the other way around. We don't take you off the list so that you promise you won't throw the bomb.
Especially if your army is doing this. Look what they're doing. Right on the front cover. They're giving a Nazi salute. That is their salute, a Nazi salute. And the same type of goose stepping, the same type of anti-Semitic genocidal mentality. How can you ever trust anybody like this who's got this mindset?
No, give him a nuclear bomb.
Give him a nuclear bomb.
Well, who do you think in Tehran right now, the Ayatollahs, the whole Supreme Council, and the Supreme Ayatollah Khamenei, who do you think they want to win the election in Israel?
It's sure not Netanyahu.
Yeah, it is not Netanyahu.
It all works together.
Volumes.
Obama hates Israel and Netanyahu. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're letting Iran go nuclear.
Put up Valerie. If we can find Valerie real fast. We're coming down to the end here. Valerie Jarrett is a Iranist, like an Islamist. I don't use that term, but an Iranist. She was born in Iran. Her father was there doing some work from America, so she's a citizen of Iran in that sense. But she is pro-Iran, and she has been doing the backdoor negotiating to get them to the table, to get the administration to the table.
More and more time, the more I think about it, she's more running everything.
She's running everything. This is very simple, them coming off. She told the Obama administration, take them off, and then not only will they promise not to have nuclear weapons, but that fatwa against nuclear weapons will be enforced. The fact of the matter is there is no fatwa against nuclear weapons, never existed in Iranian
so stupid.
theology. Yeah, it's so corny. But what Valerie did was she told Obama and his folks, look, if you take them off the list, take Hezbollah and Iran off the designated terrorist list, we can get the Iranians to go fight the Islamic State in the Middle East. We don't have to look bad and send our troops boots on the ground. We don't have to do that anymore. We can get the Iranians to fight for us. And I can imagine around the table, everybody said, wow, that's a good idea. Oh, man. We'll let them fight for us.
Everyone except for the Muslim Brotherhood operators inside the White House.
And hopefully every general said, that's not really a good idea. There's second effect causes. When you have one force that does something, there's a second effect, and it has a cause, the second effect. If indeed they go in and defeat the Islamic State or hold them off, they now have substantiated themselves, insinuated themselves fundamentally, Iran has, into Iraq. And where do you think the positioning for Saudi Arabia and Israel is going to go if Iran is now running Iraq. And we had Iraq as a broken nation that we were putting back together. We broke it properly. We had a huge embassy there. We could have had, like we have in South Korea
Biggest
now,
embassy in the world.
a tremendous fighting force in place for the next 50 years because of the interest of the United States in the Middle East. But no, to fulfill a goofy leftist campaign promise, Obama says, I'm leaving there. And he pulled out, created a vacuum, and the Persians said, we'll take that.
Thank you
and
very
everything that
much.
you have. Yep, exactly.
You know what? I'm just having a thought, just as we talk about this, and thinking about Valerie Jarrett and her influence into the White House and the politics, and how this regime, the White House, is now becoming more and more aligning itself with Iran over against the Muslim Brotherhood. And I think that and that also explains why Valerie Jarrett is feeding stories to the New York Times about the mail, Hillary mail, because she's so aligned with Dominant and the Muslim Brotherhood. She doesn't, she wants to see more of a Iranian type of.
There's a little Shia-Sunni battle right
Yeah, that's what I'm
there.
saying.
Valerie Jarrett of the Shia against Uma Abedin, the Sunni.
Yeah, I think there's that's where I'm going. There's no Sunni Shia battle going on in the White House right now about who's going to
That's a good one. Oh, we got to put a cage fight together with those two.
Yeah,
very interesting.
because she is definitely going after Hillary tooth and nail. There's no doubt about it that there's definitely
No bow to doubt it?
No bow to doubt it. Let's get an update from the Post, maybe. Jerusalem Post. We're going to sign off here in a minute. Just see where we are.
What website?
Yeah, I know.
I don't think so. We'll try another one.
Let's try a website that's not filled to the top with ads.
It's
that you cannot play anything on the computer with.
57 minutes after the hour, 5:57. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for spending 2 hours with us today as we worked through the complexities of the Israeli elections.
It is a mess.
And look, Lucy, who was on earlier, and you could hear it in her heart and in her spirit, saying she's praying that God's will is honored, regardless of where this goes. And many of us who are believers, when we see something that if the left wins, we go, oh man, where was God? God's still there. Things are still under control. May make life harder because when you function outside of God's desired will, usually it's a more difficult path to travel. But we're here. We've traveled these paths. We will for you. Our goal is to communicate to all Americans the essential importance of national security, standing with Israel, critically important for many, many reasons. Any final words on the election right now before we sign off?
No, just that about 55% of the voters have voted so far. It's a little tough to call.
Yep.
Listen, they managed Obama's One Voice V15 coalition with Jeremy, the self-hating Jew bird, have managed to convince these people that economics is more important than security. Now, we all believe in Reagan's three-legged stool of security, economic, and social. Okay, they're all important, but let me tell you, security has to come first. When you are in Israel, security is first and foremost. And to hand the government over to a bunch of people that are going to bend over backwards for the Obama administration and its neighbors that want to see its demise is a tremendous mistake. Good luck, Israel. Good luck, Bibi.
And for everybody here in America, if you can't figure out this complex situation, just realize President Obama wants Benjamin Netanyahu to lose. That's all you have to know, and you understand Israeli politics extremely well. I think we got to go out on a little bit of...
I have a positive note to go out on.
What? I want to hear a little bit of top of the morning music, if we can go out on a little bit of St. Patrick cheer.
40 seconds to go in the day, really?
Hold on.
Yeah,
really, thanks. I just like to... I would
watch how fast
I
I
would
can
like
find
to thank all the people who... Tom,
Yes,
hey, be quiet. I like to thank all the people who have actually make this production possible, and some of them are closer to our hearts today than they are before. So just a nice big, thank you for helping make all this possible.
Amen. Amen. And on that note, let me see if I can find something.
What? No, you're not doing top of the Irish. I'm fading you to black now. You're cut off. No, you're not playing something through the phone. Bye. We're all going bye.
Wait,
Fade
wait,
black,
let me see if this
fade
even
the black.
Oh, you know what? I don't
Fade
have
the black.
Wait a minute,
Bye.
wait.